Welcome to Neural Nexus Podcast, where we explore the hottest topics shaping the world. Let's dive in.
We're diving deep today into something that I think we can all relate to on some level, and that's anxiety.
Absolutely.
It can feel like, anything from just a mild worry to like a really intense feeling that can kind of throw your whole day off.
For sure.
So we're going to be taking a look at some really interesting research that we've got here, and I'm excited to unpack some practical things that our listeners can maybe use to kind of navigate those anxious feelings a little bit better.
Absolutely. And what's so interesting is that even though, anxiety is a universal experience, everyone experiences it.
Right.
The ways that people approach it
Mm-hmm.
and kind of deal with it can be so different.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at 5 main areas today.
Okay.
Mindfulness, lifestyle changes, challenging negative thoughts,
Okay.
the power of connection, and then also knowing when to seek professional help.
Perfect. So let's jump right in.
Yeah.
The first one,
Okay.
mindfulness and meditation. I have to admit, I used to think that meditation was just for,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yogis on a mountaintop.
exactly.
Right.
But then I started trying out, some of the apps.
Yeah.
Like Headspace and Calm.
Totally.
And it really does feel like
Yeah.
like a mental reset,
Yeah. It's interesting how you can carve out even just 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and it really makes such a difference.
Right.
The research that we've got here shows that
Wow.
it can actually help you rewire your brain a little bit
Oh, wow.
to focus more on the present moment instead of getting caught up
Mm-hmm.
in the what ifs and the should have beens.
Right, right.
And even if you don't love meditation,
Yeah.
simple deep breathing exercises can be really helpful.
Okay.
Especially in those moments where you're feeling like your anxiety is getting really heightened.
It's like a quick pause button for
Yeah.
your anxiety.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next one was really intriguing to me.
Okay.
The connection between
Yeah.
physical well-being and your mental state.
Right.
It's amazing how connected our minds and bodies really are.
It is. It is. And actually, the research highlighted that exercise, even simple things like yoga or a HIIT workout,
Okay.
can make a really big difference because it releases endorphins,
Oh, yeah.
which are those feel-good chemicals that act like natural mood boosters.
I love that.
And it doesn't even have to be something really intense, like even a quick walk or, dancing to your favorite song
Right.
can actually make a big difference.
I've found that even a quick 10-minute yoga session can totally change my energy.
Totally.
Speaking of energy, the research also talked about
Yes.
a balanced diet. And I've noticed for me personally, when I reach for
Mm-hmm.
fruits and nuts as snacks instead of chips,
Yes.
I definitely feel less jittery.
Yeah, I think what happens there is you're stabilizing your blood sugar a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
So you're not getting those highs and lows that can sometimes make anxiety a little worse.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And we can't forget about sleep.
Right.
The research was really big on
Yeah.
good sleep hygiene. So
Mhm.
things like limiting screen time before bed
Oh, yeah.
and trying to stick to a consistent sleep schedule
Right.
can really help as well.
I am so guilty of scrolling on my phone before bed.
Yeah,
And I definitely notice a difference in my anxiety the next day.
it's so true.
Okay, let's move on
Okay.
to something that I think we all
Yeah.
deal with, those pesky negative thought spirals.
Yeah.
We all have that inner critic
Totally.
that loves to jump in at the worst times.
For sure. So the research talked about the importance of questioning your thoughts, really taking that pause
Yeah.
and saying, okay, is this thought based on facts or is this based on my fears?
Ooh. I like that. It's like putting your thoughts on trial.
Totally.
Okay.
So giving yourself that space can really help break free from those negative thought loops.
And the research also mentioned cognitive behavioral techniques, like reframing those thoughts.
Yes. So cognitive restructuring,
Okay.
big one.
Okay.
That's basically where you're identifying and challenging those irrational or distorted thoughts
Okay.
that are contributing to your anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, let's say you're nervous about a presentation at work.
Okay.
You might have that thought like, oh, I'm going to totally mess this up and everyone's going to think I'm incompetent.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. But then cognitive restructuring would be like, okay, well, what's the evidence for and against that?
Mm.
And coming up with a more balanced perspective, like, okay, I've prepared for this presentation, and even if I make a mistake, it doesn't mean I'm incompetent.
Right. You're replacing that kind of catastrophic thinking
Exactly.
with something that's more realistic.
Yeah.
I'm really liking all these tools.
Yeah.
It seems like they can really help you reshape how you think about your anxiety.
Totally. And sometimes it's not just about tools, it's also about people.
Yes.
The research was really big on the power of connection. Having that support system really makes a difference.
So important. So just talking to someone you trust
Uh-huh.
could be a friend, a family member,
Yeah.
a therapist,
Mm-hmm.
even joining a support group
Right.
can be so therapeutic.
Yeah.
Sometimes just voicing those worries out loud can take away their power.
It's true. It's sharing those experiences, having that empathy, that sense of belonging can be really powerful antidotes to anxiety.
Yeah, and even if you don't feel comfortable opening up to somebody you know,
Right.
maybe think about joining like a group
Yeah.
or an activity
Totally.
that you're interested in.
So if you're
That's a great way to meet people who have those same interests and kind of build a
maybe
community.
build that support system.
Right.
Great.
So,
Yeah.
There are hiking groups, book clubs, art classes, like the
Oh, for sure.
possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Talk about when it might be time to seek professional help.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember that seeking professional help
Yeah.
is a sign of strength,
Right.
not weakness. So if anxiety is really impacting your day-to-day life,
Yeah.
a therapist can provide those tailored strategies and support.
And I know the research specifically talked about cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yes. CBT
Okay.
can be really effective for managing anxiety.
Okay, so how does that work?
So CBT basically focuses on identifying and changing negative thought patterns and behaviors
Okay.
that are contributing to your anxiety.
Gotcha.
So it gives you those tools
Right.
and techniques to kind of help manage it.
And would medication ever be a part of that?
In some cases, medication might be recommended as part of like a comprehensive treatment plan, but that's definitely a conversation to have with your doctor.
So to recap, we've talked about 5 main strategies for managing anxiety, mindfulness, lifestyle changes, challenging those negative thoughts, building connections,
Yes.
and seeking professional help.
Absolutely. And here's something to think about.
Okay.
How can you take even just one of these strategies and apply it to a situation that maybe triggers your anxiety?
That's a great question for our listeners
Yeah.
to think about.
Yeah.
And just remember, you don't have to do everything at once.
Yeah.
Even small steps
Right.
can make a big difference.
For sure.
You've got this.
You do.
That's it for our deep dive on managing anxiety.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.